Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the Wound Up channel. In this one, I'm going to finally be reviewing the Certina DS PH200M. I unboxed this watch about 4 weeks ago. I bought this watch for my own money at a local AD, so this watch has not been sent out to me. And now that I've worn it for a few weeks, I feel like I have enough of an opinion about this watch to make a review of it. Now, I've been thinking a bit about how I want to structure this review. Instead of making a very long, very detailed video showing all of the details about this watch, I'm going to focus on what I think are the most important parts about a watch. So I'll go through the dimensions, I'll go through how it performs, and some basic specs about the watch. But I won't go into detail about the watch's design, as that's a highly subjective area. And frankly, my thoughts about this watch's design just doesn't matter, because if you're going to be buying this watch, you have to like it. There's no point in me telling you that I like the design. So let's begin by going through this watch's specifications. Now, this is quite a large watch, actually, as you can see. Its diameter is 42.8 millimeters, meaning it has a very contemporary size. I would have liked it to be a bit smaller than this, maybe 41 or 40. Or if they could just sell this watch in two different sizes, maybe this 42.8 and also maybe a smaller 40 or 41 millimeter option, that would have been fantastic. The lug-to-lug distance also quite long. As you can see, it's 52 millimeters. It's about 13-14 millimeters thick, including this domed crystal here. The watch is water resistant to 200 meters, as you can see on the dial, and that is partly thanks to this screw-in crown here at 3 o'clock. As you can see, it does not feature any crown guards, as that was not a feature apparent on the original watch that this watch is based on. You've got yourself an aluminum bezel here, so that's not ceramic. It means it's going to get some patina over time. The bezel is a 60-click unidirectional bezel. The dial features a very legible design with nice and big hands, all loomed, and also the hour markers, of course, they're also loomed. This watch is featuring Super Luminova Lume, and as you can see, all of the indices and the hands and the lume pip here are loomed. The lume is decent, nothing to brag about, but it does the job just fine. You also have a date aperture here at 3 o'clock, right now covered by the minutes hand. The case is mostly brushed, as you can see, although the sides of the bezel here and the crown, they're polished. On the back, you'll find a screw-in case back with the Certina DS Turtle. Now, if you're wondering what DS stands for, well, that is double security, which is a feature found on many Certina sports watches. It ensures the water resistance, but it also ensures the watch is capable of taking shocks. The watch comes on this leather strap, but also found in the box is a NATO strap with some very nice hardware actually. It's brushed with some nice beveling. Now, the crystal here on the front, it's not sapphire, it's not mineral glass. Instead, this is of the old style, of course, an acrylic crystal. So you've got this very nicely domed acrylic crystal here. It distorts the dial at some angles and it just looks quite cool actually. Now, this acrylic crystal here has been treated with a layer of anti-scratch coating. And as you can see, after my 4 weeks of use, I do not have any scratches on this crystal whatsoever. The strap itself, I feel, is of quite good quality and it is very comfortable on the wrist. However, the stitching is not that well made. As you can see here on the right side here on the top, we have this part here that has gone loose. So that's not very nice. And also, I do have another problem with this watch strap, and that is that there are too few holes on this strap. And so let me explain why. My wrists are quite large. I have wrists that are about 19.5 centimeters in circumference. And that is a large wrist. And I am wearing this watch on the innermost hole of the leather strap, as you can see here. This means that if you have the smaller wrist than I do, this leather band is going to be loose on you, which means you'll either have to buy another watch strap or punch in a few more holes for this to fit well on your wrist. I have no idea why Certina has done this. With their heritage and experience, I figure that they'll nail how long a watch strap should be, but it seems as though they have not. So that is quite interesting. In all other respects though, as I said, the leather strap itself is comfortable and of quite high quality. Now the movement that's beating inside of this watch is the Powermatic 80. It's everything but vintage inspired. This is a very modern movement. It is quite a new movement, launched I think just a couple of years ago actually. It's called the Powermatic 80, although its reference is the ETA C07.111. This movement is based on the ETA 2824, which is a watch movement that we all know and either love or hate or have a love-hate relationship with, because it is great on all levels, but it's just so boring. But for a watch like this and a watch in this price range, the ETA 2824 and the Powermatic 80 is a great choice. So you may wonder what the difference is between the ETA 2824 and the Powermatic 80. The Powermatic 80 movement, which is inside of this watch, has a much longer power reserve. It's actually more than doubled, going from 38 hours to a whopping 80 hours. And they've done this by changing up a few things with the mainspring. And also, as you can see on the seconds hand here, they have lowered the beat rate from 28,800 to 21,600. This both increases the power reserve and the longevity of the movement. And the movement has 23 joules. Now in terms of accuracy, I find it to be quite good. It has been averaging at around -2 seconds per day. And the fact that that number is just a 2 is quite great actually. That means it's quite a lot more accurate than many other watches well above this price range. However, the problem I have with it is that it's on the minus side. If it were to go +2 seconds a day, I would have been extremely happy, but it's not. It's going -2 seconds per day. And you might wonder, why is minus bad but plus is good? Because if you want to set this watch by the second, it will take some more time. Whereas if the watch was running plus, you could just pull out the crown, stop the seconds hand, and just wait until your reference time catches up, and then push the crown back in again. So yeah, it's not a huge issue, it's just a bit annoying. So now we've come to the point in the review where I'm going to talk about the good and the bad about this watch to round the review off. So let's begin by talking about the good. And first up, we have the movement. This movement is a good movement. It's very reliable. It can perform very well if it's regulated. The servicing costs are very low. And it's just a tried and true movement that we know is going to hold up very well with time. So that's great. Next up on the good, I think the finishing on this watch is quite fantastic for what you're paying here. And I mean, it's just very well done. There's not a whole lot more to say about it other than that. It's very well done for what you're paying here, and I very much appreciate that. And another pro, or well, good about this watch is that it comes in this very nice box. So the watch comes in this Pelican style box, and it's just very cool. So this is also one of the good parts about this watch, because there's just not a whole lot of watches in this price range that come with such a cool looking Pelican style box. Very nice. And lastly, on the good, I have to say the price on this watch is just right. The price is around $700 I believe, although if you go to your local AD or purchase at the gray market, you're gonna be able to go down to maybe $500, which for this watch I think is a great price, and you're getting a lot of value here. Now let's get into the bad, or the cons of this watch, starting with the size. Yes, I just think the 42.8mm size of this watch is too damn big. First of all, it being so big means it's not staying true to its original design that this watch is based on. And secondly, people's wrists out there just aren't big enough. I think, to make this watch look perfect in terms of the sizing. I mean, I have big wrists, as I explained before, and this watch, well, it looks big on me. So if you have a smaller wrist, maybe 17 centimeters, which I think is about average for a male, this watch will look large on your wrist, and it's not supposed to do that. This is a vintage-inspired design, and as we all know, vintage watches are a lot smaller than this. Next up on the list of cons with this watch, we have the straps that it comes with. As you all know, it comes with this leather strap and that NATO strap, which I'll show you here. And there's nothing wrong really with the quality of the straps, maybe except for the stitching on the leather strap. But the problems that I have with these straps are, well, number one, that the NATO strap is too short. And number two, the leather strap does not have enough holes punched into it to fit all wrist sizes. So that's also a con, of course. Now I'm just gonna put the watch on my wrist and show you a wrist shot. So to do that, I have to take off the watch that I'm wearing today. I am wearing the Maurice Lacroix Icon Automatic that I unboxed in the previous video. Love this watch. Now let's put on the Certina DS PH200M. And there it is on my 19.5 centimeter wrist. As you can see, the watch is quite big even on my large wrist. And also, as you can see, I am indeed using it on the innermost hole of the watch strap. So I hope this gives you an idea of how this watch will wear. Overall, I think it's a comfortable watch, and I don't have any problems with wearing it other than the fact that I think it looks a bit too big. So I want to thank you for watching my review of the Certina DS PH200M. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section down below. If you don't have any, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it. And with that said, I'll see you in my next videos. Bye bye.